As with the expansion, there are applications of expansion. So there are also applications of factorization. So it will be the same rule, it's just that I tweak it reverse away. So if let's say the instruction for such a question, you're supposed to use your algebraic rule to evaluate. So if you still remember, evaluate means, right, the final answer is a value. Okay. Then some of you may be thinking, I just punch calculator. So if you don't show the working for people to tell the rules, and you just punch calculator, right, you're not going to get any marks at all. So punching calculator, it's you come and think about it. It doesn't make sense that your teacher asks you to punch calculator. Okay, so okay, basically the 3 rules, right? It'll be easier if you write down the 3 rules during exam so that you can visualize it. Okay, so for the first one, I think for the first one it's actually quite easy. You try rewriting, you will realize that A is 29, B is a 1, and it looks like formula number 1. So once you get to formula number 1, then you just punch calculator. So you already got a 30 square. Nobody is asking you not to use calculator for 30 square. It's just that you got to show me your formula. These are the essential working. Okay, so B and C will be the same thing. Okay, B and C will be the same thing. Okay, I will say that D, E, F is actually the harder one. So if you look at part B, you will have a 81 square, 2 times 81 times 1. So A is 81, B is 1. And this will be the second formula. So plug back into the second formula, you get a 80 square. Then you punch calculator. Okay, so this one will be the same thing. Don't touch the 88 square. The 88 square is quite nice already. Okay, so if you do not know what's the number in between, right, it's okay. You got to do a little bit more. So 176 is like 88 times 2. So you must get to A square plus 2AB plus B square. So your A is a 88, your B is a 2. And that is the second formula, 88 plus 2 square. So when you get to the 90 square, feel free to press calculator. So what we are looking for will be, these are the essential statements. This one and this. So I must see which formula that you are using. Okay, actually this one is quite easy, but a lot of students, they got mind block. So to me, this one is just the A square minus B square. If you can see here, it's just A square minus B square. And your A is 73. Oh, sorry, 77. 77. Your B is a 23. So I will just do a 77 plus 23. And then a 77 minus 23. And you usually end up with a nice answer. One of the bracket will get you a nice answer. So you actually don't need to punch calculator. So the same thing goes for this one. 25 is a perfect square. So here my A is a 105. my B is a 5. So that will just be a 105 plus 5 and a 105 minus 5. So one of the bracket is usually quite a nice number. So the 100 is a nice number. I don't even need calculator. I can just mentally multiply by 100. So this one also quite direct. Can you see it's actually quite direct? A is 59.5. B is 40.5. So directly, A plus B, and then A minus B. The first bracket actually gave you a nice answer. The second bracket, maybe not so nice. Okay, so that is 19. But eventually, I can mentor. Okay. So, you will need to write the rules and make sure you keep staring at the rules, then you can see which rules that you actually need to apply. So I'm going to highlight for you the one that, so you need to show me this. So the red color part are the essential part that you actually need to show. So people can see that you are actually using the formula. Okay, so all these must be displayed if the instruction is for you to use algebraic rules to evaluate. Please, again, do not directly punch calculator. You're not going to get any marks for it. Okay, so we got some more to try. G and H, it gets a bit more difficult. Okay, so again, don't forget this one is the factorization. So where is the complex part? Okay, so first of all, G, right, you will see two brackets. And out of the two brackets, 68 looks like the common factor. So I'm not applying the rules here, do you realize? But take out common factor is also factorization. So once you take out the common factor, you will have this. And this actually gave you a nice number, 10. So without punching calculator, I can mentor. So this G and H, I'm actually not using the formula, but it's still application of factorization because I take out common factor. Same for H. So this, I'm going to write it as a 78 times 78. So you will see two brackets. And out of the two brackets, there is a common factor. So you got to show the taking of the common factor. And then the bracket actually gave you a nice number that you actually can mentor up. So in this case, the essential one is you got to show the take out common factor. So if you don't show this essential step, your answer can be correct with no marks. Okay, so the first 6, right, I'm just using the formula. Then the last 2, I'm using take out common factor. Okay, so typically there's also things like application. These are the exam kind of question. Okay, so these are the exam kind of question. Okay, you can roughly look at it a little bit. Okay, I will be going through. Okay, the more challenging one is actually example 12. A lot of students will end up not able to do it during exam. Okay, so let's get through the 3 exam kind of question. Okay, so if you look at example 10, I think that's quite easy. X squared minus y squared, you don't even need to do anything. You should be able to directly tell me the answer. And how is it related to such a big number? So how is it related to such a big number? So they are trying to hint to you that this is actually the X, this is actually the Y. So you just plug into the formula. They will purposely give you this kind of long numbers. So you just put inside the x plus y, x minus y. Then you just punch calculator. So the first bracket gave you a huge number. The second bracket doesn't give you a huge number because you're subtracting. And upon subtraction, you actually get 1. So that is the final answer. But you do need to show the factorization. Okay. Now, the next one may be a little bit more challenging, but it's still the same thing. Okay, so for part A, 81 square minus 75 square equal to 6p. Please don't punch calculator directly. Don't go and punch the 81 square minus 75 square. So do a little bit of factorization. When you do the factorization, okay, you look at the bracket that you've gotten. The first bracket is the 156. The second bracket is the 6. So you can divide the 6 over. So can you see if you divide the 6 over, P will just be 156. Okay, so you can give it a try for part B. See whether you can apply the same idea to find Q. Okay, example 12 is the one that's hard. Okay, so example 12 is the one that's a bit more difficult. Okay, you want to pause to give it a try also can. Okay, make sure you're okay with the first factorization. They specify that you must use the answer from part A to find 2 factors. So some students may be thinking, what do you mean by 2 factors? That means, right, we are trying to find 2 numbers that can be multiplied to 891. So these are the 2 factors that we are looking for. And how is it related to x squared minus 9? So that is the challenging part. So 891, how is it related to x squared minus 9? So you got to think backwards. 891 is actually 900 minus 9. So we got to work backwards. Why minus 9? Because there was a minus 9 in part A. So think about how is 891 related. So it will be 891 is 900 minus 9. And 900 is actually a very nice perfect square. 900 is 30 square. So at this moment, you should realize that x is a 30. So it's like 30 square minus 9. So x is actually a 30. I'm going to put into my 2 bracket. When I put into my 2 bracket, the first bracket gave me a 33. The second bracket gave me a 27. So the 2 factors are 27 and 33. Obviously, if you punch calculator to check, 33 times 27 is confirm 891. So that will be one of the challenging questions because you need to work backwards. You need to work backwards. How is 891 related to this? So some mid-year papers will have this. Please put a star, put a lot of stars for this kind of question. Okay, so that will be the application of factorization.